If you have little time to practice your guitar, but you really want to play well, I'm going to show you my #1 most favorite method for squeezing a lot of progress out of very limited practice time. And if you do what I'm going to show you in the next few minutes, you may well make a heck of a lot more progress in 10, 15, 20 minutes of practice than most guitar players do after a whole hour. Here's the deal. When you practice guitar, you do so to solve problems and develop skills that move your playing forward. But whatever problem you're trying to solve or whatever skill you're working on, there's always more than one element you've got to focus on to really master that skill or really make that problem go away. For example, if you're working on building speed with scales, it's not just about wiggling the fingers faster or moving the pick faster. In fact, the speed of your hands has almost nothing to do with playing fast, but that's a whole separate topic. When you're building speed, it's mostly about efficiency of each hand. It's about two-hand synchronization. It's about articulation. It's about excessive tension control. It's about playing in time. It's about playing with good phrasing and a whole list of other elements that go into playing scales well, clean, and fast. And guitar players basically approach this in one of two ways. One is to practice completely mindlessly, just repeat, let's say, the scale up and down over and over and hope that it's just going to get better on its own. Well, that approach never works. That's a complete waste of time. Other people who are a little bit more wise about it, they focus on one of the elements that I mentioned. So let's say they practice the scale and they focus on the efficiency of their picking hand. And the next day they practice the same scale, but they focus on the efficiency of their fretting hand. And on the third day they focus on synchronization. On the fourth day they focus on playing in time. The problem with the second method is that it's simply not very efficient. Assuming that you know what you're doing and you know how to develop your efficiency of each hand and how to lock them in sync and how to relax excessive tension and so on, it's going to take you a long time, many days, many weeks, many months, maybe even years, to fully master each of the elements that go into, let's say, playing the scale fast. It's sort of like cooking spaghetti one piece at a time. So imagine you take out one piece of spaghetti out of the box and you treat that like one element of your guitar technique. Let's say it's going to be your picking hand efficiency. So you throw the first piece of spaghetti into the boiling water, you wait until it fully cooks, you take it out, you set it aside, take the second piece out, and now you treat that as, let's say, your fretting hand efficiency. You throw that in the water, cook that fully, take it out, set it aside. The third piece is going to be your string noise control. You cook that by itself, take it out, set it aside. The fourth piece is going to be excessive tension control. You cook that, set it aside, and so on. If you cook your spaghetti this way, and then you finally sit down to eat your own cooking 5 hours later, it's going to be a cold, sticky mess of unappetizing slop.
If you close your eyes, it almost feels like you're eating runny eggs.
On guitar, the same thing happens. If you wait until you fully master, let's say, fretting hand finger independence or fretting hand finger efficiency, all your other skills either deteriorate in the meantime because you're not focused on them, you're not refining them, or they get so far out of balance with your other skills that by the time you finally feel like you've mastered all of them, they're all out of balance, they're all out of order, they're not fully mastered the way you want them to. It's not coming together same way your spaghetti is all cold and sloppy. So here's a better way that I use with myself and with guitar players I help inside Rapid Fire Guitar Practice Training Program to squeeze a lot of progress out of a small amount of time. It's called focus rotation. And it works like this. You start by making a list of all the elements that you need to focus on to play whatever you want to play as well as you need to play it. So I've already given you a partial list of them. Let's go over them again. We've got picking hand efficiency, fretting hand efficiency, we've got two-hand synchronization, we've got picking hand articulation, we've got excessive tension control, string noise control, timing, and phrasing. What you want to do is start playing your exercise over and over, non-stop. Let's say it's going to be a scale sequence, so it's going to sound something like this. And as you repeat the exercise over and over, your brain is going to be rotating its focus from one element of your list to another. So let's say for the first 5 repetitions or the first 30 seconds or the first minute, however you want to measure the duration, you're going to be focused entirely on your picking hand. So as you play, your eyes are looking down at your picking hand, you're making sure it's moving efficiently and whatever good habits need to be trained are being trained. Then after a certain amount of time goes by, whether it's a minute or 30 seconds or 5 repetitions, whatever you want to measure it with, you're going to change focus, you're going to rotate your focus to the next element. Let's say it's going to be your fretting hand. and you focus on that. Then, after some time goes by, you focus on two-hand synchronization, and so on.
Round and round we go, Jack.
This way, you can go through all the elements on your list in 10 minutes and 15 minutes, or maybe in 20 minutes, depending on how much time you have and how you want to divide it. But it's going to be just like cooking spaghetti by taking all the spaghetti and throwing it in the bowl and cooking all of them at the same time, which is by far way more time efficient and way more practical and way more useful. So this example was about developing a skill, in this case playing a scale faster and cleaner. But you can also use focus rotation to solve problems in your playing and undo bad habits very much the same way. For example, I recently was helping a student in my rapid fire guitar practice training program who had two specific issues with his legato technique. One is his pull-offs were weaker than he would have liked, and they were pretty weak even when he was playing with distortion. At the same time though, he had an issue with sloppy string noise because he wasn't muting string noise correctly when he was using distortion with legato. So I told him to do two things to fix the problem. One, to practice unplugged, no amplification whatsoever, to get his pull-offs louder and more articulate. And secondly, practice with heavy distortion using the new string muting technique that I showed him to fix his other problem. And I told him to alternate between the two techniques during the same practice session. So if he had, let's say, 20 minutes to practice, he would do 2 minutes of practicing unplugged, 2 minutes of practicing with heavy distortion, focusing on string noise. So this way, over the course of 20 minutes, he would drill both approaches pretty intensely back and forth and fix his problems way faster. Now, there's one obvious challenge with this, and that is when it's your turn to focus on, let's say, two-hand synchronization. Do you know what to focus on exactly during that time to make your two-hand synchronization better? Do you know how to spot two-hand synchronization issues, like what to listen for, what to look for? And if and when you spot a problem, let's say in your synchronization, do you know how to fix it? Now that's a whole different conversation. I have other videos on my channel that go into some of the two-hand synchronization strategies and tactics you can use to tighten up that area of your playing. Same goes for everything else, like efficiency of your picking motions, excessive tension control, playing in time, and all the other things that go into playing guitar well. But the framework of focus rotation is what's going to allow you to squeeze more progress out of whatever practice time you've got. If it's 5 minutes, you can do this in 5 minutes. If it's 1 minute here and there, you can do 1 minute here and there. Obviously, we all have more than 1 minute. But my point is, it doesn't matter how much time you have. You can use whatever time you've got to become better every single day. So if you already know what to do to fix each element of your playing, simply apply focus rotation in your practicing from now on, and you'll get much better, much faster. But if you want some help with diagnosing exactly what is happening in your playing and how to fix all the inefficiencies that may be holding you back right now, I can help you with that in my Rapid Fire Guitar Practice Training Program. In that program, I not only go into much more detail on how to do everything I just said in much more detail, we can also sit down one-on-one. I can take a look at what's happening in your practicing, what may be holding you back from playing guitar the way you want, tell you exactly how to fix it, train you through the process of fixing it, so that if you do what I say, you can very often see very impressive results, often in just one practice session. Now, heads up, it's not a cheap program, and it's also not for you if you're looking for just some quick fixes or tips, or if you're looking to just join for 1 month and check it out and then quit. It's not for you. It's not that kind of a thing. But if you're serious about making long-term lasting changes in your practicing and your progress, then this may be the program for you. Check it out at the link below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified every single time I upload new videos just like this for you. This is Mike Filipov, guitar practice expert from PracticeGuitarNow.com. See you next time.